You there?
Can you hear me, Glenn?
I've got you, man. I've got you. Hey, Jordan, how are you?
Good stuff. How are you, bud? You all right?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
Nothing much. Just wanted to thank you, really, because this is my first podcast, and some of the stuff you've done, reading your profile and stuff, it's just incredible. Like, it takes a certain person to do what you've done. I'm sure you've had thousands of people say that to you, but just wanted to sort of get to know you more.
Yeah.
Sort of the drivers behind your success, really. So just talk to me about sort of how you've sort of created businesses and sort of mentorship and that kind of thing. How did you get into all these challenges?
So I guess the big turning point for me was back in 1976. You probably wouldn't have been born then, man. It's a
Not
long
quite.
time. How old are you?
I'm 26. So yeah,
all right,
way
so
past my time.
Yeah, I'm 62.
You're doing well, Glenn. You're doing well.
Thanks, man. But back in 76, I was a young kid. What was I? Jesus, 17, 18 years old. No idea what I wanted to do. Really soft, and I hated school, so I left school at the end of year 10.
Yeah.
And joined the army. Joined the British Army. So served in places like Northern Ireland and did parachuting and went to Central America and a few other places which were going off at the time. And it just basically just changed my life. And it was just, it made me realize there are so many opportunities in life if you're willing to take them. And I listen to a lot of people. I read stuff on the media, and the media is a prime example. Everybody is so negative about everything. Now, look, I understand, obviously, putting Corona to one side. Yeah, that is such a bad situation. You know, and you're in England. We've escaped it in Australia, but you know, so many people die. But outside of COVID, before, people revel in negativity. You know, the media is full of it. You look at Facebook, somebody posts something, and so many people are happy to jump on it with negative views. I don't know if they feel good or what. So everything I've done is I've always tried to look at, not a Pollyanna effect, but I've always tried to look at the more positive side of the situation.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was in a war zone at one stage, and instead of looking at the two different sides, I looked at what I could learn from it. And then when I got into sales, so I left the army on the day before my 21st birthday, and went from a barracks of 8 hairy-ass guys to working for L'Oreal, selling hairdressing products.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I had a haircut like yours, and still am. And I was surrounded by some of the most beautiful people, and intelligent and sophisticated, so different to me. And I was like a sponge. And even at 62 now, every challenge I do, it's about what can I learn. You know, this time last year, I was on my way to Everest Base Camp, and trying to learn about altitude, trying to learn about staying alive on the end of a mountain. Then obviously I did the cage fighting. The oldest guy in the world to do a 21-week, 5 mornings a week cage fighting program from December. And I was like a sponge, just trying to learn the technique. Yeah, I was up against guys your age. You know, all the guys in the course were 26, 30 years old, so half my age, and I got my ass kicked. I got hammered, man.
Did you win?
But for 21 weeks, I took it to them wherever I could. Yeah, I wanted to do as much as I could, and every session, I didn't give them an inch. If they wanted to take me out, they had to come and get me. Ironman triathlon, you can see behind me, I had this big goal of going to Hawaii and doing the Hawaii Ironman. So I left a big corporate job, big well-paid job in the city centre of Sydney, and started working for myself. And we had big mortgages, and we had 2 young kids at the time, were 10 and 9, and big risk, but we built the business and just kept pushing things.
Yeah.
My favorite saying is, attack is the best form of defense. I attack everything I do, not angrily, not malicious, but I'd go on the front foot and make things happen. So yeah, it's there's so many opportunities. And I guess now I called my book that I wrote "Do Not Go Gentle" after the Dylan
I saw that. I saw that. Yeah.
So yeah, life's so full of opportunities. We've just got to go for them. Yeah, we got to do what we can, because we could be dead tomorrow. Could die of corona tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
Get hit by we could be too busy looking at our phones as we cross the road and get run over by a bus. We could fall off a bike. We could get cancer. So, I just believe in just doing whatever I can, when I can, as hard as I can, and push everything I can as much as possible.
You've definitely got like a warrior mentality. Is that something that sort of kept you alive in like multiple aspects?
Well, without being melodramatic, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in the army, it certainly did. When you're on the streets in a war zone and there's 4 of you in a team, you trust your mates to look after you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you trust your mates to watch your back, but then you've got to watch your mates back. So very much so. And then in business, you can tell from my accent. So I'm from Yorkshire originally. England is a tough place to be in the middle of winter when you're out of work. Australia is the land of opportunity. Aussies, it's all sunshine and barbecues over here.
Oh, you must be loving it over there.
Man, I love it. I came here with an English attitude and just attacked the market and built businesses, and because the Aussies love the sunshine, they're very laid back. So I don't know if it's warrior attitude, but it's certainly on trying to go on the front foot. And if it goes wrong, change tactics, change direction. If I start a business and it's not going as I want it to go, I just change direction and adapt it. So yeah, don't expect any handouts. Don't expect anything from anybody else. Just make it happen.
Yeah, I think that's why I like you as a person, Glenn, because you've done so much and you don't really ask for anything. You literally just made a book that you told me about. It cost you so much money. I mean, from my perspective, it cost you a fair bit, which is a risk to most people because they never get a book to market. And I mean, I've got books I'd like to write on mental health and sort of like an underdog mentality myself, but obviously it's hard to do that when you're not established. But I think with you, obviously, establishing yourself with businesses and some of the challenges you've done are just like really extreme, but you've just put yourself out there. I mean, it's just such a great mentality, and I just love to get in there one day and just be like, do you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to get in there and attack it. And like you said, if it don't work out, you just change the plan, change the formation, right? That's the plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There was a best-selling book about 10 years ago by a guy called Jim Collins, and it was called Good to Great. World bestseller. Yeah, it was huge. And one of his theories was what he called the hedgehog process. And that's where there's all these opportunities, all these things you can do. Pick one and just do it.
Okay.
But then conversely, there's another book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah, that's a good book. I recommend that. Yeah.
Great book. And instead of the hedgehog, I've lived a life around multiple income streams. So I've always got different business ventures on the go. Some of them fade, some of them don't work, some of them become huge successes, which I build and sell. I'm a believer, not in the hedgehog theory, I'm a believer in multiple income streams and in everything. Always have something going on. So the book, mate,
you must be killing it with the book. I mean, you've got such a great story behind it. You must be killing it.
It's a great story, but it's all about. So I printed it. I edited it myself. I wrote it myself. I then gave it to a couple of people and said, "Hey, check this. Check the grammar. Check the spelling. Tell me what I need to take out." And from there, I then got somebody to format it into the right size. And that didn't cost me too much. I got somebody to design the cover, and then I got 3 quotes for a printer. And the crazy thing is, what feedback I got is most people when they write a book, they get thousands printed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know guys who've got written great books and they've still got hundreds and hundreds in their garage. What I did it on the cheap. So I got somebody to print it, a company to print it, and I got 300 printed.
Wow.
That was it.
Wow.
Yeah. So straight away, my outlay, my expense wasn't crazy.
Mm.
My price per book was a little bit higher, but I didn't have this massive outlay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think anybody can self-publish. And then obviously my next phase is so I then sold it on to all my contacts, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my clients, the other fighters. And then what I'll do next is, and then I'll go to Amazon and I'll look into how I get it onto Amazon. I'll look how to get it to Kindle. I'll look how to get it to Booktopia. There's a way of doing that. I might, I'll try and find a book agent who'll be able to promote it for me. So yeah, I've got another one that
I'm excited. I'm excited to find out.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, what I'm going to do, I'm going to definitely buy your book, get it shipped to UK, and then I'm going to read it, and then I'll be excited to read the next one.
You can be my agent in England.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're one of the things I've found out about yourself is how active you are in the area of mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And what's I accepted an invite to, is it Green? What was it again?
Yeah, so I've got a group. So it's a non-for-profit group on Facebook because I can't seem to integrate on LinkedIn. So I've got it on Facebook called GREENY'S.
GREENY'S, yeah.
Yeah, so the simplicity of taking my surname, obviously, which sort of relates to me, and then obviously the mind, which is sort of, well, it's a multi-dimensional thing. Sort of creating a greener mindset, sort of, being more positive with your actions, your thoughts. Because I think, like you said, it drives forward that passion and sort of, attacking. And if it don't work out, you just go sideways or diagonal or whatever. But as long as you don't go backwards, and that's the name of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah. So are you into that sort of stuff yourself then, or from experience, or? So,
my business is a company called Kona, K-O-N-A. It's after the Hawaii. Yeah, after the Hawaii Ironman, I had this goal of competing in Hawaii. So I built everything around that vision. And I think a lot of people are going through life now. They don't have a major goal that gives them a hard on. It's like if you see somebody, male or female, that you are infatuated with, you do everything you can to get a date with them. Well, I'm like that with goals in business or with sport. And so I think the more and more, we all talk about goals. A lot of people talk about goal setting, but people often don't, or if they've got one, they don't tell people. So a good case in point, there's a topic called public accountability. And public accountability, let's say I wanted to do the London Marathon, or let's say I wanted to lose 10 kilograms.
Oh, that'd be too easy for you, Glenn. Come on, some extreme.
Well, yeah, but hypothetically, let's say I wanted to run 10 kilograms, or lose 10 kilograms. What often happens is a lot of people will say that they set the goal, but they don't tell anybody because they're more scared of the fear of failure. Oh, you know what happens if I tell people and I only lose 5 kilograms? They'll think I'm a failure. Well, you know what? No. Congratulations, you've lost 5. What do you now do to lose another 5?
Keep pushing, right?
Yeah. So, I think more and more, I've noticed, especially in Australia. So you're a young guy. I was in England about 3 years ago, and I was talking to a group of guys your age and said, guys, what are you all working on? And each one said, oh, I'm saving up to get this. I'm going to get a house, or I'm going to get this, and then I'm going to start my own company, and I'm going to achieve this. And they all had goals. In Australia, the percentage is a lot smaller. People don't seem to be as driven, which gives you a chance to stand out.
Yeah, quite unusual, because actually I would have thought such a climate like Australia, you'd think like sort of positive vibes and sort of that energy going forward, whereas the UK is usually quite depressing and miserable. And yeah, it's that sort of that weather change, that weather transition, say the winter time, where people get the winter blues sort of thing. So I'm quite surprised that's what you just said there, for sure.
I think it's based on fear of failure and what's this saying?
You say accountability as well. Do you believe in that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the laws in Australia for people who are non-performing at work are just so protective. Yeah, it's my thought is, if you got a goal, tell everybody, because then people are supportive. You know, if you want to lose 10 kilograms, great. Tell people you want to lose 10 kilograms. If you want to run a marathon, tell people, because you find that people are supportive. And the ones who are negative towards you, some off. You don't need them in your life. You don't need negativity. It's easier to be, easy to hide nowadays. So, yeah, I'm just a believer in, taking the opportunities and making them happen.
Are you the sort of person that dreams big, or are you more of a realist? Because I think I'm sort of middle ground. Like, obviously, for me at my age, it's not really the norm to have a house and that kind of stuff, which is one of my goals, but it's not something that is in my eyesight. I've got more realistic goals towards writing a book and publishing that, maybe a Penguin, or just general career goals, really. So what would you say your sort of common ground is on that?
I think from a young age, I always had financial goals.
Yeah.
I always had a number. A lot of people now find they don't have a number, but I always had a number. I knew exactly how much I needed to have, so I wouldn't need to work if I didn't want to. And I had that number from a really young age, and and then I put things into place to how I do it. So different businesses, savings plans, etc. I had sporting goals. I was always looking for the next challenge. I think a lot of people live in fear of failure, as opposed to just giving something a go. If it don't work, so what? I'm a rugby league fan. My number one goal in life when I was your age was to play rugby league for Australia. Was to play rugby league for England. Wasn't good enough. So what? So all right, well, do something else.
Did you go for trials, or?
I played for Leeds under 19s when I was about 16, 17. But then I joined the army, and so that was sidelined anyway. But I was never good enough after. But yeah, but it doesn't matter. Too many people worry about the things they can't do or they don't do. I'd rather just keep knocking things off the list of what I want to do.
All these, I keep thinking of these challenges you've done. So you've done various mountain challenges, combat sports. What else have you done from the top of my head? So you've done, for example, using the Sahara Desert, wasn't you?
I did the Marathon des Sables. That was that's an amazing race across.
It must be fantastic.
7 days, carry everything. You carry it. The only thing they give you, you've got to carry all your food for a week, your bedding, your toothbrush, a snake bite kit and a flare. The only thing they give you is 12 litres of water every day and a helicopter out if you're going to die. So that's 7 days across the Sahara. That was amazing. And then the year after, I ran 475 kilometres across the Australian desert, 2 weeks. I was sleeping out under the stars. Amazing. I won a charity. My daughter came into my office once, and there was something on eBay raising funds for cancer to fight the ex-Australian heavyweight boxing champion.
Interesting. Okay.
Like 10 years ago, it'd be like you taking on Frank Bruno. Yeah. Or AJ. Yeah, Anthony Joshua. Like you taking on him, and so I put a bid in on eBay. I won it.
Jesus.
So I remember, I was like, man. At the time, I was 50. The guy's called John Hopewata. He was 32, I think.
Yeah.
He walked into the auditorium and he's massive. I was like 80 kilos. He was 110. Mate, his chest was so deep and he's surer than I. Shit myself.
Oh.
The place was packed.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, he was fantastic. He looked after me, let me use him as a punch bag. At that time I'd never boxed. I didn't know what I was doing. And yeah, he was wonderful. But it was just a great experience. And and then yeah, my wife and I, about 3 years ago, we took up mountaineering. She'd always wanted to go back to Nepal, so we've got goals. We wanted to be at 6,000 meters, which is what, 20,000 feet at the age of 60.
What's the toughest one? I heard is it Everest? Is that the toughest mountain to climb? Or
oh, look, Everest is the highest. I haven't got to the top of Everest. I got to base camp. I've done 2 or 3 others just under 6,000 meters. But the whole Nepal is just magnificent. Yeah, it's just, you're surrounded by these monsters. But doing it with my wife, it's fantastic. You know, just walking every day, enjoying the weather and the place and the people and the sights.
Yeah, lovely.
What else? Yeah, just, I don't know. It's all about just, if an opportunity comes up, you got to take it. If it doesn't work out, so what? Yeah, Anna and I last year, a couple of years ago, we were up this mountain and things went wrong badly. We got helicoptered out. Yeah, we got helicoptered back to Kathmandu because we were in a hell of a mess.
Well.
And we could have come back to Australia and sulked, but we came back, we got sorted out, and we went back again and finished the job. And
oh, good for you.
So you just gotta do what you can, man.
All these challenges you've done, so there's nothing that's set you back or something that's kept you reserved. So, because for me personally, as I've got older, I've always gone with the mentality of working smarter, not harder now.
Yeah.
See, I've got quite a stubborn, headstrong personality, and I've always wanted to sort of push myself to the extreme limits. Not quite like you, but with like sort of goals and sort of school and all that sort of stuff, I've always gone and overachieved. But as I've got older, I've noticed I've started to get injuries, and so I've done boxing, I've torn my bicep, for example. So if I was to go into say Winter Warrior, because I've thought about it many times, and actually there's not a lot of people that do it, and there's a lot of character building when it comes to Winter Warrior, and just that mentality of getting up at 5 in the morning and stuff. So do you think things like injuries are a massive hurdle, or do you think just attack? What do you think?
Mate, I took up cage fighting at the age of 61. Mate, seriously.
I sound like a pussy now when you say it like
you
that.
You do sound like a pussy, man. Yeah. So about I stopped Ironman 6 years ago because I had 4 inches of muscle cut out my leg. I had a tumor in my leg, so they cut it out, and it buggered me up my running up for a bit. So I took up CrossFit. Yeah. So we all get in, at 60, 62, I get up in the morning, I'm like an old man. I have to stretch, I have to move and roll and get things into place. I fell down a mountainside last year and busted my hand up still. And I actually did talk to the coach before I started the cage fighting and said, look, I'm not 26, the body had a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah.
He said, don't worry. He said, we'll adapt it. But it was bollocks. He actually didn't. he didn't. But you get caught up. You see, I think one thing I've learned in life is I always surround myself with positive, dynamic people who are better than me, more intelligent than me. Even in the cage fighting, I kept putting myself up against the better guys, because I could have put myself, I wrote about it in the book, I could have put myself up against the girls. No disrespect to them, but I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm heavier, I'm taller. But, I don't want to take the easy way out.
Yeah. A lot of people like the easy way out, that's the thing. So you're quite a humble guy. Do you ever think maybe it's you that's gravitating people towards you?
It's interesting. I never see myself as a leader. Well, I was talking to a mate of mine yesterday about this. We were out on the bike, and I was talking to him. I said, I'm not a leader. I don't want to be a leader. but because I do things, people follow me, or you know, they come towards me, and because I surround myself with good people, it gets more out of me. You know, because I surround myself with positive people, it reinforces my attitude of making things happen.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned some of the things you wanted to do yourself. Yeah. If you want to write a book, write it, mate. If only you and your mum read it, so what?
Do you think?
Don't matter. If you want to do, if you want to try winter warrior, you're worried about your pec or your sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. So
you're worried about it.
Yeah, so I'll
try it anyway.
Did you think? Yeah.
Try it, because you never know. You never know unless you really push it. Yeah, I've pushed myself sometimes, and I've Jesus, like, you know, last year in the Himalayas, a couple of years ago in the Himalayas, man, we escaped. You know, we got lucky. It could have gone really wrong, but you never know unless you try it. So
yeah, the way you're talking about it's like life or death compared to me. I'm just complaining about a bloody bicep and stuff, I suppose. Yeah. So
I tell a story about my grandfather and my father. My grandfather, at the age of 13, was delivering coal off a horse-drawn cart. Big bags of coal off a horse-drawn cart at the age of 13. My father was the youngest of 8, and when he was what would it have been? He'd have been when he was 10, he was evacuated because the Germans were dropping bombs on his street. You know, at the age of 17, 18, I'm walking, you know, in the streets of a war zone with a loaded rifle, trying to protect myself. Yeah, nowadays, biggest problem a lot of people pre-COVID, obviously, you know, but prior to COVID, the biggest problem anybody had was, you know, their iPhone wasn't working, or they couldn't log on to Facebook, or they've only got a 40-inch TV as opposed to a 60-inch.
But these guys haven't lived life, Glenn. You know this.
Yeah, you've got to fail. You've got to be willing to fail. If you're not willing to fail, then, you know, I got beat in the fight. Well, I got beat in the fight. The guy put me down in the second round. Well, it'll be fine, babe. Man, it was, you know, it was being there. It was getting through every day session. It was, you know, it was. Yeah, you just got to push yourself. Got to take it. Man, we could all be dead next year. Fuck. You know, look, if you look at some of the places at the moment, people aren't dead next day. Write your book, man. Write your book, Jake.
Yeah.
Write it. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. Write your list of goals and just attack them. Yeah.
Because I think with you, it's you've got such a massive brand, and you've obviously built that from scratch. And I'll give you kudos there, because there's a lot of people. I think you'll probably be in the 1% of bloody world that's probably done what you've done. But it's sort of establishing yourself, and then once you've got residual incomes of what you got and your book, it's a lot easier to sell your book. So what would you say to that person sort of starting out with no brand, or someone that's like an unknown, an underdog, sort of trying to establish himself?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And yeah, I'm going to sound like an old man, but I actually believe it's easier to build a brand, a personal brand now, than ever before.
Okay. Yeah.
So when I was your age, literally, it was physically, I had to meet people for them to get to know me. Now, fuck, you've only got to look at the Kardashians. I mean, who the hell are they?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Have they ever achieved anything?
I've never done anything. Well, they're only known for their looks, from, you know, do you know what I mean?
But they've got this global brand. So nowadays, you've got Instagram, you've got Facebook, you've got LinkedIn. You know, and every time I take up a challenge, I put stuff up. You know, I post stuff. And so people now say to me, "Hey, what are you doing next?" So, like, you know, I raise money for charities, and I post it so people know. So they then other people come to me and say, "Hey, could you do something for our charity?" Or do you fancy joining me on this challenge? mate, the more you put your name out there, not in an arrogant way, not in a self-grandizing way, but you know, the more you put your name out there, the more, I believe in magnetism. The more activity you create, the more magnetism and people come to you. Yeah. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta. Yeah, do it.
You talk about goal setting. So, you know, I've sort of taken that action, like you said, and whilst I've been on furlough, which is my current situation, I've actually taken up a degree, sort of restructured my finances and just sort of, fuck it, I'm going to go for it and take this degree in marketing, because I know, like you said, digital is the way forward, and eventually hope to set up a business and sort of have my own independence and take inspiration from you, and not just because you're here on the bloody camera on Zoom, but, you know, have multiple streams of income. Sort of, you're living a happy life in Australia. I certainly don't want to be in the UK for the rest of my life.
Right, come over here. Come over here. I'll introduce you to people, and yeah, get your visa, get on a plane, mate. So it's a land of opportunity. Honest to God, man, it's a land of opportunity. It's safe. It's
Is it true what they say about the cost of living being really expensive, or was it an exaggeration?
No. So I live in Sydney, and so it's a capital city. So yeah, of course it's the capital city, but you can live outside of Sydney, not far. We're about 26 k's out of Sydney city centre. But you can live anywhere in Australia, and the cost of living is so different. Yeah, I always believe it's.
So sorry, Glenn. What about property prices out there? If you don't mind me asking that question.
Mate, it's pro rata. So yeah, if you live in London, then a 2-bedroom unit, a 2-bedroom apartment is going to cost you more than a 2-bedroom apartment in Shropshire, in Stafford or Stoke. And it's the same here. And obviously, but you know, if you live in London, you got probably more chance of getting paid higher than if you live in Stafford or Stoke.
Yeah.
So the earning potential is pro rata to where you live, but it's not so much about where you earn; it's how you earn it. How many places do you earn from? Can you generate income from? And then what do you do with it? Yeah, in Australia, they talk a lot about the smashed avocado generation. I don't know if you have that cliche, that phrase in England.
It's I've heard of it, but I'm not quite familiar with it. Is that sort of building a generation from the inside of the shell, or am I just talking?
No. I wish
I'm talking codswallop, yeah.
No, you're not. No, but it's a great way of describing. No, so I was 42 years old before I bought my first flat white from a barista. 42 years old. Get that? I mean, yeah. People now, Jesus, they don't buy 3 from a local barista, 3 a day, then they get the shake. And I was the guy who'd take my sandwiches to work. I'd have a cup of tea because the tea bags were free in the office, and all the other people were going out and they were having the smashed avocado for breakfast, and they'd have their their 2 or 3 lattes and cappuccinos a day. But I put my money away, or I'd invest it, or I'd put it into a business, or so I wouldn't waste my money. So I'd have like 2 jobs or 2 businesses going, and I'd save it and invest it. So the smashed avocado generation in Australia basically means, and I've got a daughter like this, man, she's got no money, 0 money, but she'll go out for a coffee every day, and she'll have a smashed avocado on toast from a cafe every day. I said, for Christ's sake, work it out across the year. If that costs you $10, and that's $50 a week, and then that's that's $2,500 a year, and you don't need the next phone. You can use your phone that works. So, but maybe I'm just a tight old Yorkshireman.
No, you definitely make sense. Avocado is probably one of the most expensive things to get on bloody piece of toast, isn't it?
Oh,
why not have an egg or something? Eggs expensive, right?
Yeah. But my grandma used to say, "Put something away for a rainy day." Well, when Corona has proven that. Yeah, a lot of people are struggling at the moment. because they've spent everything they've earned. They've never really tried to put a percentage away of what they're earning.
Yeah.
There's always something you can not spend on. So as long as you're earning, a lot of people aren't earning at the moment because of the situation. So
I think a lot of people start to adapt to working life from home, and then that's why they try and find all these different sort of ways to make money. With me, so I try to upskill with this course, keep myself focused and my mental health sharp. Talking to great people like you, Glenn, about sort of business ideas and how you push ideas forwards. Are you sort of someone that's gone for more affiliation, or are you just sort of in a variety of businesses?
So the main company that we've had the most success with was, so I'm a salesman. I came out of the army at 21. I worked for L'Oreal for 6 years. I sell hairdressing products. It's a global brand. They spent a fortune training us and educating us on how to sell, how to manage, how to account manage, sales skills, pipeline management, etc. I then sold welding equipment and air compressors and power tools. I then sold accountants, and I've sold door-to-door paintings, or paintings door-to-door.
That's interesting. That must be very difficult. Very niche.
I sold baked potatoes. That was a business we had on the side at fairs and carnivals. I'm a firm believer in sales is what makes every business work. You could have the best book in the world, you can have the best service in the world, but if you can't sell, nobody comes to you.
Yeah.
So when I set up my own business, Kona, it was as a sales training company. I created models and process to be able to train others, and made a difference. But then I could still go off and set up other businesses on the side of that.
Yes, it's like a funnel. It's like a funnel going into other businesses, right? Makes sense.
Yeah. So I have multiple funnels all the time.
It's great stuff.
And look, and please don't get me wrong. I'm not wealthy at all. But the reason why my wife and I are selective with what we do is everything we've earned, we've invested. And only a couple of years ago, we looked, 60 years old, we looked at what we've got. We said, right, we've got 25 years, hopefully before we die, divide what we've got by 25. If we've got enough, let's go to the mountains. Why work? Why work for another 100,000 if you don't need it?
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll have it, but I'd rather go to the mountains. I'd rather get into an octagon. I'd rather, run across the desert.
You get back in the octagon, I'd definitely back you, sponsor you, donate. I'd love to see that. That'd be such a big thing to do. Would you ever do something like that again, or are you looking for something bigger? Yeah. Looking for something bigger?
Right. It's a dangerous question because, oh man. So two things. So after the cage fights and all the training, I was busted.
You must have been battered.
I can raise my left arm here. I can only raise my right arm to there. So my shoulder's frozen. My ribs are still screwed. My big toe, I'd ripped the toenail out of my big toe on my right foot, kicking somebody. The toenail's half grown back. And then there's COVID. So in a way, COVID's come at the right time for me, as awful as it sounds, because it's making me not train not crazy train anyway. But if I get fit, I don't know. If I get recovered in time and I get the chance, man, it's a question I'd need to address at the time, because I'll then be 62, and
no one's going to be that. I don't think no one's going to be that.
Yeah, man, it'd be I don't know. I think I'd be stupid to do it again, but yeah, so what?
Yeah, okay, why not? Fuck it.
I need to think about it, but yeah, there's a voice in the back of my mind that says,
yeah, you miss it really.
I played rugby and rugby league for 20 years. And when I stopped playing, the number one thing that I missed the most was that physical contact. Now, I mean, you're a big guy. Do you play foot? What do you play?
So everyone assumes from my size that I've been into rugby. I've never actually, I love watching it, but I've never actually played the sport. I'm very much into golf, which surprises a lot of people. Athletics, boxing and mixed martial arts really are the only sort of things I do. It's things that surprise people. I like to get away from the stereotypical aspect of things really.
Well, even golf, sometimes when you've had a good round of golf and the day after you feel sore and you're walking, your back's aching, that feeling is a great feeling. And I miss that feeling when I'm not training. I mean, you talk about mental health. A lot of things you read about handling mental health, they say, be active, do a sport. They don't say do cage fighting or Ironman, but they say
it's all generic stuff.
Keep moving, and it's great advice. And because physically the endorphins make you feel better, they make you feel happier. But I personally believe that physical training, don't matter if you're playing golf, going to the gym, running, whatever it is, yes, the endorphins make you feel better, but it's also a distraction.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
From your mindset. If your mindset is really down, if you are, you're feeling bad and you're in that hole, and even if you only go for a run for half an hour or something, at that time, your brain's elsewhere. Your mind's, the endorphins kicking in, but your mind's elsewhere. You're thinking about your breathing, thinking about not tripping over, you're thinking about not tripping off a curb or in a pothole. And so it's almost a distraction to the mental challenges you're going through. So it's not going to cure you, it's not going to be the be all and end all, but it'll it does help, even if it's only for a short time. So don't get in a cage though. That's not smart.
Do it. I took up boxing purely to build my character, which sounds quite corny to a lot of people, but it's I was at a very low stage of my life where I was about 21 stone. And I got to this stage where I was drinking every single night and sort of letting myself go really, binge eating and sort of depression. Suicidal thoughts, etc., without trying to bore you. It got to a point where I had this boxing match and I was so inflamed. My body was so inflamed with all this crap that was drinking my body and stuff. I think that's probably what caused my injuries. And to this day I look back and reflect on that, and I think it's made me work a lot smarter, and that's probably why I'm a little bit more reserved now and attacking like I used to be. So it's like, I've got to 16 stone now and I'm still trying to lose a couple of stone to sort of really get back in there and be like, wow, this guy's fucking transformed and he looks amazing. He's,
good.
Really want to like blow people away. But it's like trying to transition back to that attacking mindset that I'm struggling with, sort of trying to always be in this sort of bubble that I don't really like to be in. So I don't know if you've had any sort of hurdles like that where you've just been in a bubble and you trying to find a solution to sort of expand that bubble and just eventually just pop the fucking thing.
Absolutely, mate. And in fact, in England, you guys have got a guy on the TV called Ant Middleton.
Yes, I literally watched it last night, the SAS.
The SAS thing. So I just read his book called The Fear Bubble.
Yes.
So it's interesting you talk about popping that bubble. Yeah, and it's actually a really good book because it's just practical. It just makes sense. There's no fluff in it. It's actually a great thing. And I'm a believer. I set myself a goal, and it doesn't matter how big the goal is. So qualifying for the Hawaii Ironman is a little bit like qualifying for the Olympics. Getting into the cage 21 weeks out, running across the Sahara. So I'll set the goal, and the bigger the better. But then I break everything down to a day's action plan. Yeah, it's literally one day at a time. And there's an old cliche that says, what's the best way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And one thing I learned with the cage fighting was we never knew what the coaches were going to do tomorrow. And we'd say to them, so what are we doing tomorrow? I'll prepare. They won't tell us. So we never knew if we were going to get hit, if we were going to do technique, if we were going to do jiu-jitsu, kickboxing. We never knew. So all we did was just focus on today. In Ironman triathlon, I had a weekly program, and it was broken down day by day. And I knew, don't worry about what I got to do tomorrow. Just do today as best as I can. You
believe in doing something little by little every day?
Every day. Every day. So you want to write a book? Cool. Map it out. How many pages are going to be? What's the topic? How many chapters? And then literally just do 1 page a day. Yeah. There's 3 months and it's written. Yeah. Do 2 pages a day. And the great thing of it is, if you want to write this book, you can do voice to text. You're talking to your phone, it's recorded. So straight away, it's easy to write.
Is that what you've done for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This cage fighting book.
Is there an app for that? Or is there an app for that?
I used voice to. I got an iPhone. I used notes.
See, I was just recording onto notes, and then you just done it from there. That makes
yeah. But there is another app. There's I'll dig one out for you. There is another app. There's a load of them, voice to text apps, and especially with my accents, some of them, some of the stuff that was actually written compared to what I said, I had no idea what what it meant. But yeah, but at least you've got the basis of it. Yeah, you got the basis, and you then tidy those notes up. And I did that. So I had 21 weeks of notes. I then tidied them all up. I then made them fit and roll from one chapter to the next. And I added emotion. I focused on the emotion rather than the technical side of fighting. It was more about the highs and lows. And then I got some of the other fighters to write 2-3 paragraphs, so they bought into it, as in they engaged with it. But yeah, voice to text, man. Just do it. You can go out for a walk. You can sit watching TV. Voice text. Write your next 2 or 3 pages.
How would you transition that into a Word document? Which is, I'm assuming, what you did use to publish, or did you use something? Yeah.
Yeah. I just copied my notes. Literally, just cut and paste.
I'll just cut and paste on the iPhone. Is that simple?
Or I emailed. What did I do? So I got my notes on my iPhone.
Oh, I know what you've done.
On the app. I then emailed them to myself. I then copied the email into a Word document. Yeah. I then tidied them up, changed the words that I had no idea what I said. And, added stuff in, added some images in. Yeah, it's easy to do.
A genius.
Yeah. Easy. I have a motto in life that perfection is the enemy of action. I see people in business, I see people in sport, people in life, and everything's got to be perfect. Everything's got to be absolutely locked down, and they won't make a move until they've got it perfect.
Yeah.
Not that. Perfection is the enemy of action. I'm a believer. I'd rather have 80% of something happening than 100% of perfection, because as soon as you get something perfect anyway, it changes. Yeah. But at least now, if I've got a book that's 80% written, that's grammatically crap and spelling's wrong, it doesn't matter. I've got the basis of a book. Then I can make it better. Before I can give it to somebody and say, hey, read this and fix it. Yeah. So in your book, write it. Yeah. Voice to text. Yeah.
That's interesting. It's interesting. I actually made an ebook, which probably is my first ebook. I probably fucked up on the spelling and stuff, but I'll send you a free copy anyway. See what you think. But it's it's just sort of talking about immunity and sort of ideas to adapt to COVID-19. I'm
Yeah.
assuming you could probably adapt that to Australian life as well, because it talks about shopping and sort of groceries and how you can beat the supermarket rush and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'll send you a copy, see what you think. But I think you're right. It's better to do something rather than nothing. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because if you've done something and it's crap, so what? It's a stepping stone to something better.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't do anything, then it's a stepping stone to know. Years ago, I stand to be corrected, there was a general called General Schwarzkopf, who was head of all the armies in Gulf War One.
Mm.
And look, I stand to be corrected on the actual quote, but his theory was make a decision and move. He said, if you make a decision, you move in the wrong direction, it actually doesn't matter too much, because you're moving, you've got momentum, you can change direction. He said, you're a sitting duck. You are in danger of getting blown up if you just stop and try to decide what to do. Make a decision and move. And if you're moving the wrong way, it doesn't matter, change direction, but at least you've got movement going. Yeah. If you write a book and you've written 3 chapters and you look at it and it's crap, it doesn't matter. Adapt it, change direction.
Would you just recommend building a brand now before you actually do the little things like write a book, or would you just think, fuck it, just write a book now and think about the brand later?
Both.
Do both.
Both. You've got a brand. I mean, your brand's already starting to develop. Get your work your LinkedIn profiles. I have no idea. I don't understand Instagram. I'm not on Instagram.
I'm not on it.
I hear it's really important to building a brand. Share your thoughts. There's a phrase in Australia a lot called becoming a person of influence, or key person of influence. And it's about having opinions and ideas and that other people can resonate with. Start now. 26, man, the world's your oyster.
I think the problem with me, I'm just trying to compare myself to successful people like you, and I don't see you as a guy in his 60s, because you're still, to me, you represent longevity and someone that's such a great iconic individual to life and attacking life. So I definitely wouldn't put you in your 60s, that's for sure. But maybe I'm trying to sort of push to your level a little bit, and that's inspiring, but at the same time quite frightening, because I'm sometimes quite hard on myself in terms of, I'm only here, but I want to get to X. I'm at A at the moment.
Yeah, mate, don't compare yourself with anybody else. Seriously, don't compare yourself. Aspire to be somebody else. As in, if you want to be Richard Branson, if you want to be if you want to be as successful as Richard Branson, that's a great aspiration. That's a great goal to have. If you're only half as successful as him, fantastic. So put things in place to be but don't compare yourself, because in sport, in business, in life, in sport, there's only 3 people on the podium. In Ironman, there could have been 2,000 people in the water starting the race, but there's only 3 people on the podium.
Did you manage to finish that, or was you a DNF?
Nah. I finished 23 Ironman. So it's a 2.5 mile swim followed by
112 swim, something like that. 112. I was looked into
mile bike, and then a 42 swim. So I'm trying to translate to miles, and then a 26 mile marathon. No, I finished 23 Ironman. One's enough, but for some stupid reason I kept going.
That's impressive.
I've never been too worried about comparing myself with others, but I have aspired to achieve what other people have done. So at the end of the day, when I race, I don't care what the other people do in their times. If they're faster, fitter, younger, stronger, I just need to try and beat my times. If you're picking up weights, if you're playing golf, yeah, try and beat your own round. Don't worry about what your mates are doing. Just beat your own round. Beat it next time. Just do what you need to do. Yeah, if you're weight training or CrossFit training, yeah, it's your own goals that you need to keep beating. That's self-improvement. Yeah, I don't worry too much.
I saw with the Ironman, you need to finish in a certain time each individual event, otherwise you don't qualify, or is that not true?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you don't finish an Ironman in 17 hours, they throw you off the course. They pull you off. So literally, you could have swum 4 kilometers, you could have cycled 180 kilometers, and you could be 40 kilometers into the run. And if you hit 17 hours, you're DNF. Man, I've never had that. I've been all right, but yeah, it's a big day out.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've thought of as well, but it's a massive thing to do. It's not just a triathlon. It's a really extreme thing to do, isn't it? So
yeah, it is, and I think that's why I did it, because I could have done triathlons, but it wasn't the big one.
I think what you missed the most, I can see in your eyes, is the cage fighting. But I just had an idea actually whilst I've been talking to you, because I don't know if it sounds stupid to you or not, but you're obviously a businessman, a successful one at that. But I thought about crowdfunding or fundraising, and then you could get other people, to sponsor you, or they pitch the best idea, and then in return you give them mentorship or something along the lines. It could be like a really crazy idea, and obviously chip into this pot, and then you could use that to sort of maybe enter another Ironman, another Winter Warrior, or something more extreme.
Yeah, I hadn't really considered it or looked into it. To me, it's not about cage fighting, or it's not about Ironman or whatever. It's about challenge. I love challenge. I'm struggling at the moment, physically, because I'm still repairing. I'm not training as hard as I like, and because of COVID, all the challenges are out. They're off. I should be in South America now, at high altitude.
Oh, and high altitude, yeah.
And that's got canned. So I'm bouncing off walls at the moment because it's a challenge. It's not. A mate of mine rang me about 3 years ago, and he said, "Hey, do you want to join 20 of us? We're cycling from Brisbane to Sydney." So Brisbane to Sydney is 1,000 kilometers, which is what, 600-700 miles. We're going to take a week to cycle, raise money for charity for kids with autism. Do you want to do it? I said, yeah, great. And because it was the challenge, that's what I love. It's I'm uneducated. I'm uneducated. I left school at year 10. No university degree. The only time I've been to university is when I went out with a girl, and I stayed over at university one night. That was it. Yeah, that's my only experience in university. I'm not an academically intelligent guy, but I just attempt anything and everything I can. In the army, I got a chance to jump out of an airplane 17 times because I volunteered. Other guys were saying, "Oh no, you shouldn't volunteer." I said, "Well, no, volunteer for anything that goes. It leads to something." You just got to keep putting yourself out there.
So you creating businesses, is that derived from your background as a salesman, or because obviously you must be very good at what you're doing? So is that derived from that, or is it just come naturally to you? Or?
So every business is a sales organization. It doesn't matter what a business is. If you're an accountant, you're a salesman. If you're a lawyer, you're a salesman. If you are, if you're a gardener, you're a salesman, because you could be the best gardener in the world, you could be the best lawyer in the world, but unless you got customers, unless you got clients, you ain't got a business.
What about pro bono or voluntary causes, or is that?
Yeah, I do a lot of pro bono now, a lot of pro bono mentoring, and the reason is because I can now. A few years ago I wouldn't, because I was putting the money into my own retirement, but now, I do now. I do a lot of mentoring. for full business. You know, and it's not based around an MBA. It's not based around some theory. It's based around practical experience of what works in business. Having built several and sold them. Yeah. I could never become CEO of Lloyd's. I could never become CEO of Citibank. Because I'm not that, I don't work at that level. But if anybody was looking to kickstart a business and get it up and get it running, make it happen, then that's what I do. And then I get them established, I make them profitable, and then I sell them. Yeah, because I get bored.
So with your specific plan, do you have like different action plans, or do you have like different stages of creating this profit, or how does your company work, Kona? And where did the name come from? Because I'm sure I've heard the name before.
It came after Hawaii. So the Hawaii Ironman is the office is competed in a village in Hawaii called Kona.
Okay.
So when I set the business up, I named it after my goal. I named it after Hawaii, after Kona.
That's great.
And and so it's every time I give somebody a business card or give somebody I did a presentation with a logo on it or a brand or whatever, then it reminded me of what I needed to do to get to Kona, to get to Hawaii. Yeah.
So, do you think you can send me some? I know this is probably a bit spontaneous, but if you ever get the chance to and you have to spare time in the future, do you think you can send me some business cards, and I'll be happy to distribute them to people that I know, not just word of mouth, but through my marketing channels as well, because I'd be honoured to get you some business as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Or even better, I'll do it like a digital business card. I'll send you. I'll email you with all my contact details on. To be honest, I'd rather help people out now and do crazy challenges than earn a living. I say we've just got enough, not a crazy amount, but just got enough. So if it was the choice of working or climbing a mountain, I'll be on the plate in the mountain next.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So interesting thing out of Corona is that Skype and Zoom has really opened up a whole new world for myself in terms of business. I'm mentoring a lot of people now on Skype and on Zoom. It means I'm not on planes or running group workshops. It's so it's actually a whole new world.
I'll tell you what I've started to use. I don't know if you do group sessions or you just do individual business consultations, but I've started using Teams. Teams is like a really strong platform on Microsoft, which I seem to find it like really compatible. There's far more options in terms of connectivity, and seem to make it such a stronger connection than Zoom sometimes. I don't know if you want to look into that or.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, I will. I haven't looked into it, but I will. Yeah. No, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'm a Luddite though. I'm useless I'm a dinosaur when it comes to technology. I hate technology.
You're obviously a master of business. You're buying and selling businesses.
Yeah.
I think you're very humble or extremely modest. Yeah. I think the latter.
Well, we'll see. But,
yeah. So,
but mate, get yourself to Australia. Get yourself out here.
Definitely want to do that.
Introduce you to a few people. The weather's magnificent, man. We're coming into winter now, and today was 19 degrees. It was
unbelievable.
Down on the beach, and it's just beautiful. It's a great country.
You must have a great Christmas. So.
It's a hot Christmas, yeah. Actually, crazy story. So when I was training up for the Sahara, our summers, so your middle of your winter, so December and January can be 40 odd degrees over here. So I'm running in the Sahara in March. So Christmas holidays, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, the Australian beaches are packed. Yeah. All the guys with the muscles are sunbathing. All the beautiful girls in the bikinis are out there, and the beaches are fantastic. Everybody's partying. I'm running on the beaches and I've got thick tights on.
Speedos.
No, the opposite. So I'm 3 months from the Sahara. I've got thick tights. I've got heavy boots, thick woolen socks. I've got a shirt, a coat.
You've done this deliberately to simulate conditions.
Hell yeah. I've got a woolen beanie. Literally, it's 40 degrees. I've got a woolen beanie on. I've got a front pack and a backpack, and I'm running the beaches. And there's all these beautiful people there in bikinis and swimming trunks, just wondering what the hell was going on. But I had to do it. Yeah, it's that day by day. I had to put the activity in, because otherwise, as happened to a lot of others, we'd get to the Sahara where it was 45, 50 degrees, and I'd be gone. So you got to put the effort in. Nothing's easy nowadays. If you want to be successful, I'm a firm believer in activity drives results. If you want to run a marathon, then you've got to run every day, or 6 days a week. Don't mean you've got to run 30 Ks a day, but you've got to get your body ready. For Ironman, I would train 16 hours a week.
That's a lot.
As well as running a business, as well as spending a huge amount of time with my young family and my wife. I wasn't willing to sacrifice one for the other. So you've got to, activity drives results. In sales, we're in this over sophisticated world of bloody social media, and people have forgotten the basis. If you've got a target of $1 million revenue and you have an order value of 10,000 and you have a 3-to-1 proposal ratio, you need to put so many proposals in. You need to make so many phone calls or LinkedIn connections to get so many meetings. And if you don't do the activity, you'll never get the results. Activity drives results. There's no shortcuts. Yeah. You listen to Conor McGregor, you listen to Tyson, you listen to Ali, you listen to all Mo Farah, all the top athletes, AJ, Anthony Joshua, all the top athletes, they say don't take shortcuts, and you can't in business. If you take shortcuts in business, you'll never achieve what you could. Don't rely on somebody else to do it. Put the activity in.
So with your training, was it obviously you acclimatized to certain situations, which I think what you was doing on the beach is genius. You're trying to simulate them sort of temperatures and stuff. But was your training? Did you have like a set period of training, or was it more spontaneous? And you thought, I'll bike today or run tomorrow. Was it just sort of really?
I can send you an email. I'll email you
I'd like that.
An Ironman program. But literally, it was, for example, Monday morning swim, Monday afternoon run, Tuesday morning cycle, Monday afternoon run, Wednesday morning swim, Wednesday afternoon cycle. So there was set miles, set terrain. So some days I'll be doing hill days, some days I'll be doing flats, some days I'll be doing speed. I coached a mate of mine once. He and I did a mountain run. There's a 46-kilometer mountain marathon near us. And in this mountain marathon, or hill marathon, you run through 3 rivers. You literally run through the rivers. So I took him out running one day, and it was pissing it down. And I made him run through puddles, and I made him run through the stream in training. And it was up past his ankles, and he was whinging and moaning. And I said, mate, you gotta go. And he said, I'm not going in that puddle, it's too deep. I said, mate, you gotta go in, because if you can't run home with wet feet, what are you going to do in the race? And he moaned, and he went through, and he whinged all the way home after the, running like 10 Ks home. Anyway, after the race, where he'd run through 3 rivers, he came to me and he said, mate, that was the best training ever, because you made me prepare for that stage of the run. No easy way out. You got to prepare for what you need to do. So
that's really interesting.
LinkedIn, you and I are connected on LinkedIn. It's amazing how many people still in 2020 don't use LinkedIn properly. LinkedIn is your shop window. If you owned a retail store, you'd have the window looking magnificent. Your window would look like Tiffany's. You wouldn't look like some shitbox bloody second-hand store down the road. Who's
No, definitely not. No.
LinkedIn is your shop front. And it's amazing how many people just don't make LinkedIn work for them.
What are some of the biggest downfalls you've seen?
For LinkedIn, most people have a photo, but they still have the blue LinkedIn banner behind. They don't have a proper banner.
Yeah.
Most people take LinkedIn as an online CV, and they write what they do on a day-to-day basis as opposed to their achievements. Yeah. Most people don't have enough connections. Yeah, they'll have 150 connections instead of 500 plus. They don't get their endorsements, and they don't get recommendations. Recommendations are referees. Recommendations are testimonials. Yeah. Ask everybody to write a recommendation for you, because that's what people will look at. Treat LinkedIn like it's your shop window, like it's your shop front. Yeah. You have your shop looking immaculate if you want to sell stuff. Yeah. So I guess the point I'm making is you've got to put the activity in to drive results. Yeah,
that's great. It's great advice. Yeah. Definitely. So with your sort of business going forward now, are you looking, like you said, you've got the sort of, you're comfortable now, but you're not rich. That's what you said in your own words. So are you looking to do more pro bono stuff, or are you just looking to retain the clients you have and maybe upskill them?
So I sold my business last year.
Yeah.
No, 2 years ago, sold it. And now I contract back to the guy who bought it for me. So he's got all the day-to-day stuff. He's got all the admin. He's got all the marketing, all the stuff. And if he wants me to do a project for him, I'll do it for him. If I can fit it in around my challenges.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. If you ever do one of your challenges and you need someone to do something for free, I'll do it for you, because give me a good experience to do. And if you ever need content doing, and I'm sure you get loads. I'm sure you get loads of people saying that, but yeah, why not put myself out there?
Yeah, no, it's if you can enjoy what you're doing and you get a buzz from it, you got to keep doing it. If you don't, then change it. Yeah. So, mate, listen, it's I've got 7:10 here. I need to go eat.
Yes. Yeah, we've been on call for a couple of hours.
Just over an hour, yeah. Just over an hour.
But, that's good stuff. Listen, I really appreciate your really detailed conversation. You're obviously a great guy. You know, you're not. I think one of the biggest things I took from you is you're not, some stuck-up fucking businessman like the majority of people that I've seen on LinkedIn and all these other profiles who let success get to their head and they can't speak to maybe like the smaller guys like me still trying to sort of reach out and sort of build a brand and sort of gain inspiration. So I really appreciate your time today, Glenn. And
pleasure, man. Pleasure.
Definitely going to buy your book and share your business. I mean, what are you working on now? Is there a specific website for your services, or is it still Kona?
Hey, the boss is here. My wife's just come in. Oh, God bless her. Oh, look at this. Right, she's brought me some water.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
Got to stay hydrated. And she brought me a whiskey as well.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. So you're a whiskey man as well.
Thanks, Dad. I'll be up in about 5. So what I'm working on, we're planning this trip. We're just waiting for the borders to open up. I don't think I'm going to get to South America this year. I'm working on our next book from the adventures that my wife and I have had over the last 4 years mountaineering. We're going to pull all our thoughts together on that one. I'm spending time with the grandchildren. Yeah, I pick them up, take them to school in the morning, pick them up in the afternoon, and have fun with them. And yeah, just planning the next adventure. Basically, in Australia, I don't know if it's the same in England, but in Australia we've got 6 or 7 states. So you know how you have counties, and you've got like 40, 50 counties. You've got the epicenter of Great Britain, Yorkshire. and then you got the minor counties. So anyway, I don't know if you can see, actually. Can you see my Yorkshire flag
yes.
down there?
Yes.
Yeah, got the Yorkshire flag there.
So,
yeah, so we got states in Australia. We've got 6 states, and they've closed the borders. And it's amazing. So we can't actually leave our state, our New South Wales. However, when the borders are open, Anne and I are going to buy a big patrol truck, that 4-wheel drive, and we're going to go way out west, out into the desert, and just get away from telephones and craziness.
Yeah.
And then hopefully when we get back, it might be away a couple of months. Hopefully when we get back, we'll South America will be back open. If not, we'll go somewhere.
Yeah. But you'll always miss Australia, wouldn't you? You're probably used to it now. Yeah, you must be used to it now.
Nah,
for me, it'd be a new adventure.
Yeah, we were in India for a few months, a couple of years ago, and we've travelled and through climbing and sport, and we get back to Australia, to Sydney especially, and we say, why on earth did we go away? Yeah, it's just a magnificent country. Yeah, I'm an immigrant here. They've welcomed me to their country. I'm a citizen. I'm an Australian citizen. I represent Australia when I race, but it's just a great country. It's modern. It's naive. It's young, whereas England's old and tired in many ways. Australia is still a young, vibrant, dynamic country with the sunshine. So get yourself over it.
Dream. I will one day. Don't you worry about that. But listen, it's been a pleasure, Glenn, because I know I'm sort of holding you back from your whiskey now and stuff, and you miss.
Man, I'm starving.
No, I really want to thank you for your time, and sorry if I sputtered on. It's my first podcast, and I want this to be free flowing, which I feel like it has been. And there's no there's no awkward pauses and me sitting here like a bloody yes man, just nodding, listening to you. Like I said, I think you're a great asset to anyone and everyone. Just keep doing what you're doing, and I'm going to keep following you. And I'll try and put somewhere in this video, your book, because I definitely want people to buy your book and get people to follow you, because you're an inspiration, and I bloody mean that.
Thanks, man. Somebody said to me recently, how have you been able to do some of the things that you've done in business? And basically what they were inferring was, I came from a family in Leeds in Yorkshire. We didn't have much money. I left school at the end of year 10. Yeah, so what was that, O levels or CSEs or whatever?
Yeah.
So I'm not educated, and they said, so what is it that drives you to do these things? And I said, it's probably based on insecurity.
Interesting. All right. Okay.
Because throughout my life, there have been people who've been wealthier, bigger, stronger, tougher, definitely smarter, definitely more intelligent. And so it's almost like, because I came from started at a lower base, it actually made me feel insecure. And so basically I've said, fuck that. I'm going to prove to anybody and everything that I can do something with myself to overcome that insecurity. Even now, even though Anne and I, my wife and I and family, we're in a very, very fortunate situation, I still don't believe it. You've said some really kind things, but I feel uncomfortable with them. I feel like I'm constantly having to prove myself to myself. It's insecurity.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Totally get what you're saying.
I use it. I don't cower from it. I use it. I use it to drive me to whatever's next. So, mate, whatever's driving you or whatever insecurities you have, don't let them burden you. Use them. Yeah, whatever concerns you've got about yourself, whatever chips on your shoulder, whatever, all those, all those things that people may have said to you in the past about what what you've not done or what you can't do, whatever, ignore them. Use it to stoke the fire. Every time somebody says to you, you can't, use that, lock it away and leverage it and use it to prove to them you can. And when somebody says to you, when you are in the situation that when you get to where you want to be and somebody says, but you were lucky, let them say it. You make your own luck.
Yeah, fuck them, right?
Yeah. Attack is the best form of defense, man. Yeah, whatever you do, go hard as you can, put as much effort in, don't take shortcuts, and then keep doing it.
It's great advice. It's really touched, sort of in here without trying to sound corny, but it means a lot. And like I said, I'm going to let you get on because your missus is probably downstairs shouting the odds. But yeah, honestly,
the crazy thing is, so I'm here now in a shed. Yeah. So
I would have thought that. I would have thought you'd been in your bedroom or something. That's a great shed.
No. So as I look out the window of the shed, there's my house there. So it's several bedrooms. My daughter and her 3 kids have got the top floor. My other daughter and her husband have got the bottom floor.
Interesting.
And my wife and I are in a backyard cabin in a granny flat. It's a meter cabin in the back garden. So they've taken our house out over that I've worked for 40 years to pay for, and we're in a goddamn cabin, and I'm running my business out of a shed. How screwed is life, eh? But it's great for the kids because it means I've got my family with me every day. And, but literally, seriously, I'm in a 40 square meter backyard cabin, and what the hell, keeps me humble.
You're a great bloke, Glenn. I wouldn't be able to put up with that. You're a great guy, honestly. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks, man.
It's fucking fantastic. It's fantastic. Honestly, you made me laugh, so that's all that matters. So I'm gonna fucking use this laughter. I'm gonna push it forward. Have a good day. All thanks to you, mate.
Good on you, mate. Hey, listen, let's talk anytime you want, man. If you get any good times or bad times or need any help, just give me a call.
Oh, do you know what? I really appreciate that because I know you must be extremely busy and obviously you've got wife and kids and stuff, whereas me, I haven't got them sort of responsibilities. So thank you for them words. And
pleasure, man. Pleasure. Well, it's easy now. Yeah, we got Zoom. We got the other one you mentioned, and drop me a text, give me a time, send me a link. You'd have to send me the link though, because if you hadn't sent me the link tonight, I would have had no idea how to connect to you on Zoom. Honest to God, no idea. Yeah. All right, champion. Good to talk, man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Glenn. And keep pushing, man.
I will, mate. I will.
Enjoy yourself.
Anyway,
enjoy that whiskey. Enjoy that whiskey, because I know.
I will. Yeah. Food of champions.
Yeah, I'm a whiskey connoisseur. Well, try and make it out like I am, but.
Yeah, I've discovered American honey, so honey whiskey.
Yeah, McGregor's made a whiskey.
I hear. Yeah.
Don't buy it.
No,
it's overrated. It's overrated whiskey. The taste, but the actual the brand is fantastic.
But it's got a punch to it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Isn't he good though?
Hey, it's fantastic. Guy.
Yeah. For anybody who puts himself out there that far and sets themselves up for failure so much, but then come back. That last fight, oh my God, that last fight against Cerrone.
That's amazing, wasn't it? The way he just used his shoulders, it's just never seen anything like it.
Honestly. Yeah. Amazing. I've never seen that. In all the fights, the training we did, nobody dropped the shoulder on somebody else.
I've never seen anything like it. That's a new thing, isn't it? It's mind-blowing.
Busted his nose. Amazing. Anyway, God bless you, mate. Stay healthy, eh?
So, man, keep pushing.
I will, Jeremy. Good talk to you, mate. Speak to you again shortly.
Speak to you again, Glenn.
See you, mate. Bye. Take care.
Mate. Bye.